Alright, here we are for another episode of Popular Decks. I'm your host Michael, and I'm here with this interesting brew that I saw on an MTG Goldfish. Someone got a 5-0 with Tireless Tribe combo. So before I get into the deck, just a reminder you guys, give me any comments below if you have any information that you guys want to share with me, if you have any comments for me, um, compliments, you got some grievances, you would think that I suck, this is how I should get better. I'm always looking for ways to improve my content, so please let me know in the comment section below. And also follow me on Twitter if you want to get updated anytime I go live on stream or anytime that I put out new videos. And finally, give me a sub on YouTube if you guys want to get notified whenever I put out new content. So it's all for you guys. I just do this for fun. But if you guys want to be notified, just let me know. And it's cool to always see the numbers go up and get more and more people involved in Pauper. So this deck is a really interesting one. I can't remember who 5-0'd with it, but somebody did recently, and I'll have it in the deck list in the description below. The entire combo and basically the entire deck is Tireless Tribe, which lets you discard a card to give it 4 additional toughness, and then you play Inside Out on that to switch its toughness. So basically, we're gonna hope to play this on turn 1, tap with it on turn 2, cast Inside Out, discard our whole hand, and there you go. Dead opponent. This deck does kill on turn 2 if you have a Tireless Tribe on turn 1 and an Inside Out on turn 2. And then we have a number of ways to get our creatures through that don't require us to actually deal with any blockers. So we've got Slip Through Space, and then we've got 4 copies of Shadow Rift. The reason we have Shadow Rift over Slip Through Space, I assume, is that I can Shadow Rift their creature at the end of their turn and draw a card if I need to, whereas Slip Through Space is only a sorcery, so I do have to deal with that. There's basically no other way to win in this deck, so the rest of the deck is all protecting the combo. Protecting the combo and finding the combo. So we've got 6 cantrips that kind of help us find the combo, and then we've got 4 probes that get us closer, but they don't actually let us search at all. Same with the Shadow Rift and Slip Through Space. They don't actually help us find stuff super well, but they are free. They're not free, but they're card neutral, so they draw us 1 card closer. The brainstorms are the most important ones because we've got 6 shuffle effects in our lands, and then we've also got some ponders that also shuffle. For some reason, I don't know exactly why this deck is doing this, but it's not my build. So we've got 4 copies of Journey to Nowhere, which neither finds the combo nor protects it at all. So it does help us survive a little longer, but honestly, I'd like to see something maybe a little different in this spot. Then we've got 4 copies of Squadron Hawk. This card helps keep us alive, plus thins our deck. It's a nice shuffle effect with Brainstorm, and if we run lower on cards, like if we're casting Journey to Nowheres on stuff, and we need more cards, Squadron Hawk is a way to get extra cards for Tireless Tribe. Because one of the issues is with Tireless Tribe, let's pretend I have 7 cards in my hand and I cast Inside Out, I still have 7 cards. Well, that means I can discard and get up to 29 power, but sometimes people gain more life than that, so we might need a little bit extra from the Squadron Hawk, or alternatively, we also might need to cast some spells at some point, you know? Like, we might not have 7 cards in our hand, and like if we cast our Journey to Nowheres especially, so that'll get us back up to 7. We've got these standard bearers to help protect our combo from targeted removal. The problem with Tireless Tribe, it looks like it can never die to damage spells, but when you switch its power and toughness with Inside Out, suddenly it can. Suddenly it is easily boltable. Got some dazes and prohibits to protect our combo. We only really care about cheap spells, so prohibit is probably the best spell for that. I think it might also be possible that we'd rather have something like Memory Lapse, but prohibit is what this deck has. Inside Out, already mentioned before, switch power and toughness. It's the linchpin of the deck. We've got 2 circular logics. They are really only to be used to protect our Tireless Tribe on our combo turn. We don't really cast these any other time, so that's what they're for. That's why, like, we try not to cast them any other time. Sometimes you have to, but 3 mana is a lot for this effect. And I got some Gushes. Gush is obviously great with Tireless Tribe, it's +4 cards, or it's +3 cards because you lose one from the gush, but 2 lands +2 cards means even if you're pretty low on cards in hand, you can get all the way up to big enough for the Tireless Tribe, no problem. Alright, so our sideboard has got some interesting stuff. We've got one more removal spell to go with our Journey to Nowhere and Sunlands. We've got a couple Circular Protection red, so it's really hard to win through a bunch of burn spells, but so if you're playing against actual burn, Circular Protection red becomes pretty important. Prismatic Strands does a lot of things. We can cast it one turn to fog our opponent and then play our Tireless Tribe and then use it to protect the Tireless Tribe the next turn. Patrician Scorn for Boggles. This is an interesting one um, from Time Spiral block. We've got a spell that is 4 mana, but really it's almost always free, and you just destroy all your opponent's enchantments. It's an interesting card to have in your deck that you've got Journey to Nowhere in, but it is what it is. Like Journey to Nowhere, hit their Aura Gnarlid, suddenly their Aura Gnarlid's free, but whatever. This is such a house against Boggles, it doesn't matter that much. Got Piracy Charm, probably good against blue decks. Killing a Delver on turn 1 can be pretty important, and getting Island Walk can be important too. We got some Arcane Denials. They are plus cards for us, and we probably don't really care exactly what our opponent is drawing as long as they can't interact with our combo. Then we've got Jace's Erasure for all the really hard control decks. To be honest, I don't know. Like a lot of the actual real control decks, I don't think this would be fast enough. Like we're not playing against Teachings, I would guess. We're probably going to be playing against like Blue-Red Delver and Blue-Black like Flicker. And those decks put on enough of a clock that I don't think Jace's Erasure is fast enough, but we do have these cards in there for those things. Lotus Petal, speed us up one more turn. So I've never played this deck before. You guys are seeing my first go through a league with this deck, so I'm probably going to make some mistakes, but hopefully you guys will still get a little bit of a taste of what's going on with this deck. So with that, let's get to round 1.